And thank you, Global, for making it easy. All I have to do is press F5. I just need to figure out which keyboard. All right, so I'll start out with saying that we're all professional viewers of media. We've been doing this our entire lives, whether it's movies, television, you name it, we are involved in taking this in, and we know the difference between good and bad media. So to further prove how much we watch media, the Motion Picture Association of America said that 38 million HD TVs were sold, 228 million people went to the movies, and 11 billion was made on that in 2013 alone in US and Canada. So I get a lot of questions from my friends on how do I make my Snapchats better? No, not really, but my business partner and I came up with something to present on nights like tonight, and it involves talking about rectangles. Humans are obsessed with them. They're everywhere. I challenge you to go home tonight and see if there's a shape in your house that's more predominant than rectangles. You won't find one. And we've been obsessed with it for hundreds of years. There's a 12th century Italian mathematician by the name of Fibonacci who came up with the golden section, which is basically a way to mathematically break apart rectangle proportions and explain image harmony. Really boring. So what we do in video is we split it into 6 rectangles, because this rectangle has to become more rectangles, and you need to figure out how to place things in rectangles. So to make good video, your first step is frame your image. We have the grass in the bottom third here on this horizontal third. We have the mountains and the sky. They each have their own third of the image. And the subject is placed conveniently between 2 points where they intersect. So these intersections are really important. Here I broke the rules, but I'm still equally in between 4 points. So you want to place your subject somewhere on one of those points and try to split up your background as best as possible thereafter. And this will give you a good starting place on how to make your framing better. The next thing is lighting. Aaron Rose, a famous director, said that in the right light, at the right time, everything is extraordinary. And he's right. So lighting products like this is relatively simple. It can look decent with a single source light like this. I'm proud of this, by the way. It's a home-built computer. But it can also be lit by itself. So here I changed up the style a little bit and tried to go a different direction. People, though, are harder to light than objects. Objects are pretty simple, all things considered. And lighting a person properly will set you apart from what you used to do making video to what you could be doing. So my business partner up here who made this presentation with me is part of a bad example of lighting. So he was a test subject for me to dial in some of the lights. He doesn't really poke out from the background at all. You can't really see him. And the bottom one, although it's following the rule of thirds, it wasn't lit well. It was too harsh. So what you want to do, even with 2 lights, is try to have one further away that's brighter in the back to pop your subject out from your background, and have one in the front that's soft and diffused to sort of make wrinkles fade away and to generally beautify. So I have a good example here. Although this is a photograph, it's the same rules apply for video. I used a single light in the front to illuminate her face so that she wasn't drowned out by the sun in the background. So you can even get creative, and you don't have to have lights. But even a lamp with a light shade will diffuse light. You can do a million different things to make it look good. The next step is don't move the camera. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea. Don't move it. We're trying to watch this hole-in-one, which was a real shot he made. And the content is always more interesting than the person making the video. So if you're shaking the camera, moving it around, or you have no real direction, you're going to confuse your viewership. Here we were asked by a client to move the camera. So we were filming billboards on a highway, and he wanted the angle of the billboards to be seen from how you would see them on the highway. So in this case, you do want to move. There are exceptions to almost every rule tonight, and that is one of them. But if you do move, make sure it's purposeful. The next step is be concise. I could say a million different things tonight on how you can make your video better, and I could drone on and on. But the big thing is it's hard to get people to watch your video to the very end. The last 10 seconds of a video is extremely hard to get them to view. So if you clean things up a bit, it keeps attention for viewership a little bit better. And It also makes it easier to edit if you are editing. But once you have a concise statement or a set of statements, you want to start building a story. And ask Vito about that, because I'm not so good at creating storylines. But construct one. You have a beginning, a middle, and end. And this has been around longer than we've been obsessed with rectangles. It's been around as long as we've had language. So people are used to tension building, and a point of conflict, and then resolution. And you can do this whether or not you're filming your dog eating your homework or books, or filming at a birthday party. It doesn't matter. There's always a way to construct a story around your subject. And that's the beautiful thing about humans. You can bring in that human element, and really the possibilities are pretty endless. So audio is massive. It's 50% of what you experience when you're seeing a video, and a lot of people forget about it. They get so caught up in how they're framing and lighting and what their story is that they forget that the microphone they've had the entire day while filming is in the wind. That can ruin what you're doing. So audio is massively important, and music goes along with this. It's also what puts an emotion to a picture. You can have a sad or a happy image with sad or happy music, and any combination thereof, and you will have a different result in the end feel of what your viewership is conveying through your video. So I hope with these generalized points and this condensed version of our presentation of a good video recipe that you can start to build the layers for a better video. Thank you.